हेलो, नमस्कार। कल है इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच T20 वर्ल्ड कप में। और इसमें कौन जीतेगा, कौन हारेगा, कौन सी टीम स्ट्रांग है, कौन सी वीक है, इसी पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ हैं प्रीति उपाला जी। स्पोर्ट्स एनालिस्ट हैं, मिस इंडिया इंटरनेशनल विनर हैं, हॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस हैं। हम इन्हीं से पूछेंगे कि क्या पोजीशन है इंडिया की टीम की और क्या पोजीशन है पाकिस्तान की टीम की। प्रीति जी, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका हमारे शो में। प्रीति जी, क्या इंडिया पाकिस्तान का जो T20 मैच है उसकी क्या पोजीशन है, उसमें इंडियन टीम कितनी स्ट्रांग है और पाकिस्तानी टीम कितनी स्ट्रांग है?
Namaste, Rohitji. Thank you so much for having me on your wonderful show. It's always a pleasure to be on India Matters. Yes, this is the mother of all matches, the high voltage electric match, historic in many ways. And I think both teams are going to fight it out, and they both want to win. Both have something to prove. India has a 12-0 winning record against Pakistan in ICC World Cup matches. That's ODI and T20. So that record is incredible, right? Pakistan has never beaten India in any ICC World Cup match before. Incredible record. So I think it's advantage India from that respect, from the sort of the legacy and momentum that they have. But it's going to be a very tricky match. I think it's going to go down to the wire. And I think both teams have something to prove. And it's going to come down also to things like who's going to win the toss and the pitch and the conditions and what combination they have and selections they have. So many, many variables. But I think India is going to want to really win this and win it convincingly, because there's a lot of talk out there. I think a lot of people are really think Pakistan has a good shot. They do. So I think India really needs to uh, kind of make sure it puts it's the India team in front, and let the world know why we are the best in the world. Very exciting.
राइट। सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, आपको क्या लगता है कि हमारे जो इंडिया के प्लेयर्स हैं उसमें से कौन से प्लेयर्स हैं जो कि इस समय बहुत अच्छी फॉर्म में हैं और जिनका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा होगा, जिन्होंने अभी हाल में बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस दिखाया है?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, IPL just finished a few weeks ago, and so the players carry on from IPL, I would say, just because um, yeah. So the players are moving, continuing forward from the IPL, because that tournament just finished a couple of weeks ago, and we can see. I have to say, it's a mixed bag. I think we have a shaky middle order, not 100% as solid as we would like it. Some players are doing incredibly well. Some players are not in good nick. I can tell you the players that are doing phenomenally well are in good form. Certainly the opener, KL Rahul. I think my prediction is he's going to go on to become one of the top scorers of this tournament. He's going to do extremely well. So he's looking great. Um, I think that Jadeja is looking phenomenally well, and of course Shardul Thakur as well. And then we have Bumrah, who is fantastic, and then Varun Chakravarti will also come into play. So the bowlers are actually looking pretty good, and Ashwin, depending on the surface and on the day, he could also do very well. So it's a mixed bag, but I think we definitely have match winners who are performing. Great to see Rohit Sharma finally getting back some form. Sky finally getting back some form. Hardik, we saw a little bit of him. He sort of finished off that recent warm up match, which is good. There have been concerns and so on, but the real tournament starts tomorrow. So we'll have to see how they perform under pressure and in those conditions, right? And against a key, a I guess an opposition, while the tournament is going on and not just a warm up match. So certainly it's going to be a great test, I think, between bat and ball, between these two great teams.
ओके। एक और चीज के क्या इंडिया का जो मैच है पाकिस्तान से, पाकिस्तान में आपको क्या लग रहा है कि कौन सा प्लेयर बहुत फॉर्मेडेबल होगा जिसको इंडिया को टैकल करना टफ दिखेगा? कुछ ऐसा कोई प्लेयर?
Yes, great question. Several players. I think do not write them off. Don't write off any team in the T20 because this format, the differences between the quality of the sides actually lessen to a point where anybody can beat anybody else on the day. So they're all sort of equal in many ways right off the gate. So when you look at the Pakistani squad, their captain Babar Azam is doing really well. He is a man on a mission, wants to prove something. Fakhr Zaman played phenomenally well. We've seen him win matches and score a century against India in the past. So I think he's gonna come. Uh, for me, their key player, I think their X factor player is going to be their bowler Shahin Shah Afridi. With the new ball, uh, he is going to do some damage, and I think he's been doing pretty well in whatever T20 and PSL games we've seen. Uh, so they've got Rauf, who's if he can get his line and length right, he could be pretty good. They have some Hassan Ali too. They've got some young players, which is interesting. Young bowlers, very exciting to see how they'll go. Their middle order is a little shaky too. It seems to be a bowler heavy team, I would say. But look, at the end of the day, we might just be a bowler short as well. So it's sort of all gets very balanced in the end. I just think the pressure will be on both of these teams, and it's enormous pressure. It's global pressure, right? So we'll have to see how the teams do under that. But I think it's going to be a great match. Going to go down to the wire for sure.
प्रीति जी, आपकी एक व्यूअर हैं मीनाक्षी बी के, वो पूछ रहे हैं कि आपकी हिंदी ज्यादा अच्छी नहीं है क्या? और हिंदी आप क्यों नहीं आप दिल से हिंदुस्तानी हैं? आप क्या केरला से हैं क्या? आप हिंदी हिंदी में क्यों नहीं बोल रही हैं?
I speak Hindi, Urdu, Telugu, Arabic, but I think when I'm doing analysis like this, I have my points in my mind in English, and I can very quickly I can go through them. So next in a future episode we'll do it in Hindi. But I speak Hindi and Urdu, and I understand them 100% as well. So you'll start seeing me speak in Hindi soon, I'm sure.
ओके। एक और नाइट वॉचमैन नाम है उनका, वो पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर ये मैच पाकिस्तान हार गया तो उसका इम्पैक्ट पीसीबी पे, पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड पर क्या होगा? क्या रमीज राजा को रिमूव कर दिया जाएगा?
No, I think well, it's one match. Remember, if they lose miserable, if they don't make it to the semi-finals, I think PCB needs to go back to the drawing board and sort a few things out. I know they've been in churn for the whole year. There's been a lot of changes, but if they have a miserable T20 World Cup this time, like if they lose every match and they don't make it to the semis, I think they have to do some serious soul searching. I don't think that'll happen. I think they're the group that they're in is a little easier, I think, for them. And I do think that they have what it takes to make it all the way. So, I'm expecting them to go through. So, we'll have to see if they can actually uh, win the tournament in the end or get to the finals. That would be very impressive. But they have India to contend with because I think India also wants that and can very much. I think we are favorites in many ways. So uh, whoever is going to win this trophy is going to have to beat India to do it.
एक और व्यूअर हैं, वो बोल रहे हैं आपको हैप्पी दिवाली बोलने के लिए। और प्रमोद मौर्य एक व्यूअर हैं, वो बोल रहे हैं कि आईसीसी शुड कंसिडर यू फॉर कमेंट्री। ओके, थैंक्स अ लॉट। एक और व्यूअर ने बोला कि ये क्वेश्चन पूछा कि मैडम ये बताइए कि क्या इंडिया पाकिस्तान का जो ये मैच है, इसमें अगर पाकिस्तान जीत जाता है तो उसका ओवरऑल इम्पैक्ट क्या होना चाहिए?
Fantastic question. Look, if they lose, it's nothing new. We won 12. It's 12-0 right now, so great. Another win, fantastic. if we lose and they win, well, it'll be good for cricket in a way. It makes things very interesting. But I think then we have to go and do some introspection of our own. It'll be a huge boost for them, certainly huge boost for them, for their teams, for their players, for their board, that they beat the number one side, right? They have more to gain, I would say, by winning this, and perhaps we have more to lose because it may be a little embarrassing for us to lose, considering I think we are such a strong team. Um, so I do think that they will be trying to go for that win to, I think it's going to be night and day for them if they do. It'll be more, uh, they stand to gain more, I think, by winning than we do. So I think they're going to go all out.
मीनाक्षी बीके जी का एक और क्वेश्चन आया कि फुटबॉल क्लब्स जो हैं वो हमारी क्रिकेट पर नजर मार रहे हैं और वो लोग दे वांट टू बाय टीम्स हियर। ये बताइए कि इस पर आपका क्या सोचना है? फुटबॉल क्लब्स अगर इंडिया में क्रिकेट टीम खरीदेंगे तो कैसे चलेगा?
They're definitely nazar maar rahe hain. So I have my views on this. I think the IPL is an Indian domestic tournament. It's called the Indian Premier League. It's predominantly for young Indian players. I personally have the view that all of the franchise owners should be Indian businesses or Indian conglomerates or Indian individuals or Indian citizens, because IPL is a part of Indian soft power. So it's very important that whoever comes into this game understands that it's not just an investment, it's not just another team that they own, and it's not just about money and wins. And I, on some level, I think all of these franchise owners understand how important IPL is to the bigger scope of Indian cricket in general, India in general, right? I hope they do, some don't maybe, but I think it should stay. And also just from bureaucracy, logistics, all of that. I mean, I think even from a language point of view, I think have Indians owning an Indian team is the way to go. English Premier League is different because it's not a domestic English tournament, and in fact, even in their national side, most of their players are overseas anyway, right? So they may sell out. English Premier League is for sale maybe, but and European soccer is for sale, but I don't think Indian cricket should be. And I don't think you want a situation where you have one team that's being bought by a foreigner, because suddenly you will have more teams bought, and then suddenly you won't have any Indian owners. We've seen this time and time again. So I have some strong views about this. I don't know what your views are, but I think it should stick with Indian owners.
एक और कमेंट आया कि आप अमेरिका में हैं और इसलिए कोई अमेरिकन टीम, अमेरिका में क्रिकेट की क्या हालत है, क्या क्रिकेट खेला जाता है वहां पर, क्या पोजीशन है, वो पूछ रहे हैं एक जनाब।
Great question. Yes, they are starting minor league cricket, so smaller level. Every city has their team, and there's a big tournament that just finished. And then in a couple of years' time, there will be the major league cricket, which is, I guess, similar to T20 IPL, something like that. It's starting. It's great to see almost every city in America have a team, and this team isn't just Indian who live in America. It's American, it's Caucasian, it's Nepali, Pakistani, Australian, English, Caribbean. It's really cricket players from around the world who live in America and who are now representing these US cities. So I think cricket is going to grow here. They should be having their own IPL here. They should be having a T20 tournament. And in the Olympics, it'll be the 2027 Olympics in Los Angeles, my city, where I think cricket will be introduced as an Olympic sport. That's the plan. Let's see what happens.
एंड प्रदीप मौर्य पूछ रहे हैं कि ज्यादा आईपीएल टीम्स बनाने से क्या एक नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा क्रिकेट पर?
Great question. I think they should, it 10 should be the max. I think any more than that, logistically, it's too many games to play. Already they're playing 60 matches for until the final. That's a lot of matches each. I mean, these guys were playing somebody every other day. It became so tight, right? Because they had to crunch it. I don't think that's good for anybody. They're getting injured, they're exhausted. It's not good. So I think 10 teams is about as far as they can go. You don't want 15 teams. It just won't work out, I think. And also, you don't want a diluted version. You don't want five really bad teams because they're just adding on teams with whatever players. I guess players who don't get picked for the top franchises will be picked by these other teams. I don't think you want that sort of quality situation. So I think you should like leave it at 10 maximum.
अच्छा, विल इंडिया बी एबल टू टैकल इंग्लैंड? अभी इंग्लैंड फॉर्म में दिख रही है, एक जनाब ने क्वेश्चन पूछा.
Great question. Yes, absolutely. In fact, of all the countries, England is one country that I don't think is a threat at all. These conditions don't suit them. The pitches don't suit them. They are playing several games in Sharjah, and they will really get they will be smoked in Sharjah. I really do not see England making it to the semi-finals at all this year. I don't think this will be a very good campaign for them. There are other teams that India should be worried about: West Indies, perhaps Australia. I would say even Pakistan, and but I don't think that England is a team that they should be so concerned about.
ओके, देन ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया कि अगर इंडिया पहले बैटिंग करता है तो वो फेवर करेगा क्या इंडिया को इसमें, इस मैच में, T20 वर्ल्ड कप में पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ?
Yes, because Pakistan is not good at chasing. India is good at chasing. I think our T20 or all of our IPL teams have chased and won. No. I mean, the team that has won has had no problems. I think we're fine with chasing. They are not that good with chasing. It becomes incredible pressure, and you can have collapses and so on because we bat deep, I think, right? So they don't so much. So I think if we win the toss, um, you should be, make sure that you bat first. India would want to bat first, I think, and
ओके,
make a good score.
एक क्वेश्चन आया, स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन अबाउट रोहित शर्मा द क्रिकेटर. बोला गया कि भाई उसका परफॉर्मेंस, रोहित शर्मा का परफॉर्मेंस कैसे होगा?
Yes. So Rohit Sharma, finally we're seeing him get back some form. Didn't have a great IPL, but warm-up matches he was good. The last one he was very good. So happy to see him. Look, he's a class player. He's one of the best in this format, one of the best IPL players in history, right? So I would like to see him come back very strong. And he's a leader on the field. He knows his thing. He's been doing it for so long. So I think he is going to be him with KL Rahul, very, very important players, I think, to get the kind of score that we want. So the openers will be key. He has to perform. I know KL Rahul is looking incredible. I think Rohit Sharma should make sure he doesn't get out cheaply and too quickly. But I think if that doesn't happen, he usually tends to stay for half a century or a pretty good score, and that too with a great strike rate. So I think he's going to be, has to have a good day, I think, for India to win.
अच्छा, भावेश गोपाले पूछ रहे हैं कि क्या न्यूजीलैंड फाइनल तक पहुंचेगा?
No, I don't see I see two subcontinent teams making the finals. I don't see Australia, New Zealand, or England or South Africa making the finals. They may make the semi-finals. I think South Africa has an outside chance. I think Australia will make it to the semi-finals. New Zealand and England, I wouldn't bet on them. So I think finals will be two subcontinent teams.
ओके, गिरीश चंद्रवानी बोल रहे हैं कि अगर इंडिया ने पहले बैटिंग की तो ड्यू फैक्टर भी तो आएगा, वहां पे ड्यू होगी और उससे प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है क्या?
Possibly, but look, the dew factor, I mean, it's been different every day. The dew levels have been different. Look, tomorrow the captains will get up and check out the pitch and the conditions, and they'll have to make their selections and their strategies, and then of course then it's up to the toss. And if you lose, obviously you can't do anything about it. If you win, then you have to make that choice. But they should just go into this match knowing that Pakistan isn't great at chasing, and they might have an edge either way.
राइट। सौरभ बोल रहे हैं कि हार्दिक पांड्या भी बॉलिंग कर सकते हैं, तो अगर हार्दिक पांड्या को बॉलिंग कराई तो कैसा रहेगा?
कर सकते हैं, but करेंगे क्या? Like, I don't look, he's struggling to even bowl 2 overs properly. 4 overs, I think for him is a bit much. Also, you don't want a part-time bowler. He has become a part-time bowler, right? You want your best. I think unless he is in the best shape and form of his life, he's going to end up being a liability for this team. And they need to think hard about having him or having somebody else. You have Venkatesh Iyer. You even have Ishan Kishan. You have some other players. You have Shreyas Iyer. You have other players that can come, and I don't think he'll be bowling. So don't look at him as that all-rounder. Just look at him as a batsman, and is he the best we have, and get the best that we have. I think you need to be selections need to be better. I think you need to be picking your playing 11 on better grounds than sort of what has been happening, I think.
Yeah, Vikas Tyagi is asking के what about अफगानिस्तान टीम? इंडिया के ही पूल में है वो टीम, अफगानिस्तान कैसा परफॉर्म करेगी, और what are your bets on the Afghanistan team?
Yeah, Afghanistan, very exciting team. I always want them to do well. I love Rashid Khan. He's amazing. Look, they'll have a good run. I don't see them making the finals. I don't see them winning. But I think, I mean, if it's only 2 teams from A group, I don't think that they will be that team. But they'll be good. I mean, Afghanistan Pakistan will be a good matchup. And I think last time or recently, Afghanistan almost beat Pakistan, which I think is again poetic justice, right? So let's hope that happens. Actually, it's better for us if that happens too.
राइट। इनफैक्ट प्रीति जी का अपना एक इंस्टाग्राम चैनल भी है, द प्रीति इफेक्ट। उस पे जा करके आप ये डेली या ऑल्टरनेट डे एनालिसिस देती हैं क्रिकेट मैचेस पे। इन्होंने लगभग सारे आईपीएल मैचेस की एनालिसिस दी थी और लोगों के क्वेश्चंस के जवाब भी देती हैं। आप वहां इंस्टाग्राम पे इनकी एनालिसिस सुन सकते हैं। और प्रीति जी, एक फाइनल क्वेश्चन आपसे लेना चाहूंगा। ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया कि कैसा परफॉर्मेंस होगा अपने 2 प्लेयर्स का, एक ईशान किशन और सूर्य कुमार यादव?
Oh, great. Ishan Kishan is looking in better form. Unfortunately, I suspect that he might not get that many chances. He is newer. Sky has been around, has pretty good record, one of the better T20 players out there. He is also slowly getting back his form. I have a feeling Sky will be played more, but Ishan is good. There may be time. Maybe he might come in place of Hardik Pandya. Who knows? I want both of them to do well. I want all the Indian players to do well. They have it in them to win this thing. They really do. And let's hope that the magic happens and the momentum continues, and they ride that wave and they go all the way to the end. I really can see them at the very last stages of the game. But this is T20 cricket. You never know how things work out. We've only won it once, the first time, the inaugural T20 World Cup, which was quite a milestone, I would say, in India's T20 history. And you have MS Dhoni anyway in the camp to be that rock, that amazing advisor to them. And I hope that they're soaking in all the wisdom. And he can't play the game for them. He can't finish it or win it for them, but they'll have to do that on their own. But I think just having him there is mentally, it gives them a lot of strength too. So, they should go in very confident, I think.
राइट, थैंक्स अ लॉट मैम फॉर जॉइनिंग अस। और उम्मीद है आपसे हम जल्दी ही, हो सकता है कि एक क्रिकेट मैच जब खत्म हो उसके बाद एक और लाइव कर पाए, अगर आप फ्री हो तो। क्योंकि मैम जो है वो हॉलीवुड में भी काम करती हैं, वहाँ पे एक्ट्रेस हैं और कुछ शोज वहाँ भी करती हैं, बहुत बिजी रहती हैं। तो आज भी बड़ी मुश्किल से मैम टाइम निकाल पाई हैं। प्रीति जी, उम्मीद है आपके साथ एक और शो जल्दी करेंगे। अभी के लिए नमस्कार, थैंक्स अलॉट, धन्यवाद।
नमस्ते, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद।